Can you imagine a world where Central America didn't become a battleground, where the US solved its problems of inflation and drugs, where the Cold War ended in democracy and not a succession of squabbling dictatorships? Dr. Albert Harper, author of History in Collision, 2015.
What's up, everyone? It's Sam here, back again from the Laurel Lounge to give you an overview of a future history timeline that's been outlined in the Cyberpunk 2020 RPG manual. Drop by our subreddit and let us know what you think of the setting, and if CD Projekt Red's upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 game will stay true to the lore. Until then, I really hope you enjoy the content, and thank you for dropping by the Laurel Lounge. 1990. Start of the first Central American conflict. U.S. engages in interventionist actions in Panama, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador. Military forces are sent to secure the Canal Zone from an ex-U.S. puppet dictator. West and East Germany are reunited. Warsaw Pact breaks up into separate nations. Breakup of the Soviet state. From this point, the USSR begins anew with an era of reapproachment with Western Europe. By the 2000s, the Soviets are the Euro theater's most powerful allies. Then Soviet President Gorbachev appoints party successor Andrei Gorbachev. Fall of South Africa. For the next 4 years, there is little to no communication, although terrible atrocities and genocidal wars are rumored. 1991. Eurospace Agency launches Hermes spaceplane. Gorbachev regime purges last of the old hardliners. Cho H2 developed by Biotechnica. First archaeology built on ruins of Jersey City. 16 Arcos begin construction over the next 5 years until the collapse of 1997, leaving the huge skyscrapers half completed, filled with squatters and the homeless. Artificial muscle fibers developed at Stanford Research Center. 1992. The Treaty of 1992 establishes the European Economic Community. Zones of control and protective tariffs regulate the activities of member nations: France, Britain, United Germany, and Italy. A common currency unit, the Eurodollar, is established, based on average value in gold of all currencies combined. Trapped in the paranoid isolationism, the U.S. declines to enter. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency develops and spreads several designer plagues worldwide, targeting cocoa and opium plants. The governments of Chile and Ecuador collapse. A savage drug war breaks out between Eurocorp-backed dealers and the DEA all over America. First use of high-energy laser lift arrays in the USSR. Simple mass driver established in the Canary Islands by 8 members of the Eurospace Agency. 1993. First TRC biologic interface chips developed in Munich, United Germany. The AV-4 Aerodyne assault vehicle developed to deal with increasing riots in U.S. urban zones. Colombian drug lords detonate small-scale tactical nuclear device in New York. 15,000 killed. 1994. World stock market crash of 94. U.S. economy teeters, then collapses. Nuclear accident in Pittsburgh kills 257. Cancer deaths soar over the next 10 years. 1995. Kilimanjaro mass driver begins construction under joint agreement between ESA and Pan-African Alliance. 1996. The collapse of the United States. Weakened by the loss in the world stock crash, overwhelmed by unemployment, homelessness, and corruption, many city governments collapse or go bankrupt. Snarled in a staggering deficit and the machinations of the Gang of Four, it is totally ineffective. Nomad riots. By now, 1 in 4 Americans are homeless. Hundreds of thousands riot for living space throughout the U.S. Nomad packs spring up in the West Coast and spread rapidly through the nation. First appearance of booster gangs. Lawyer purge. Irate citizens lynch hundreds of criminal defense attorneys. Constitution suspended. Martial law established in the United States. 1997. Middle-East Meltdown. Tensions in the Middle East escalate in a nuclear exchange. Iran, Iraq, Libya, Chad, and the United Arab Emirates reduced to radioactive slag. World oil supply drops by half. Toxic oil spill kills off most of the salmon population in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle economy destroyed. Rocker boy Mason killed in England. 1998. Neo-Luddites are re-established in western Kentucky. Over the next 10 years, the Ludds are responsible for bombings of airports, factories, freeways, and mass transit terminals. The drought of '98 reduces most of the Midwest to parched grasslands. Between agribusiness corpse and the drought, the family farm all but disappears. 10.5 quake shatters Los Angeles. Ocean inundates 35% of the city. An estimated 65,000 are killed. 1999, federal weapons statute established. Millennium cults begin to appear, predicting an apocalypse on January 1st, 2000. Thousands migrate to isolated communes and temples to, quote, await the end. Taicho colony established. A mass driver is constructed to provide raw materials for orbital platforms. The year 2000. Millennium cults run amok on January 1st. In an orgy of suicide and violence, most destroy themselves. First, quote, extended family poser gangs established. Massive firestorms rage over the northwestern United States, destroying millions of acres of farm and grassland. Crystal Palace Space Station begun at L-5. Wasting plague hits the US and Europe, killing hundreds of thousands. 2001. The framework of the net is now firmly in place with construction of the WorldSat network. 2002. Food crash. Mutated plant virus wipes out Canadian and Soviet crops. U.S. agribusiness crops survive due to new biological counteragent. USSR accuses the U.S. of biological warfare. 2003. Second Central American War. U.S. invades Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Venezuela. The war is a disaster that cost thousands of American lives. Eventually, the remainder of the Gang of Four is swept away in a wave of reform. WNS media star Tesla Johannesson exposes secret NSA transcripts of the first Central American conflict. 2004. First cloned tissue grown in vitro. Microsuture sterilizer fields developed. Tesla Johannesson assassinated in Cairo. 2005. The cyber modem is invented. EBM solos attack Tokyo office of Kinjiri Technologies, killing 18. 2006. First clone grown in vitro. Mindless, it only lives for 6 hours. 2007. Secret corporate war. Involves a number of firms, including Petrochem. The dispute is over oil fields in the South China Sea. Braindance developed at UC Santa Cruz. 2008. U.S. assault on Soviet weapons platform Mir 8. Eurospace Agency intervenes. An orbital war breaks out between the Euros and the Yanks until the Taicho colony mass driver drops a rock on Colorado Springs. An uneasy peace is reached. 2009. Joint Euro-Soviet mission to Mars departs. Corporations eradicate mob rule in Night City. Abortive takeover attempt by U.S. terrorist group of Crystal Palace construction. ESA discovers Defense Intelligence Agency plot and drops 12-ton rock off Washington as a warning. 2010. End of Second Central American conflict. Network 54 now controls 62% of all media broadcasting in the U.S. Food riots in Denver kill 52. Crystal Palace is completed. ESA now has a permanent hold in high orbit zone. ESA and Soviet mission reaches Mars. 2012. Bioplague kills 1,700 in Chicago. Concert riot in Night City kills 18 and wounds 51. Arasaka complex gutted. 2013. Netwatch established by joint U.S. Eurotheater treaty. First true artificial intelligence developed at Microtech's Pasadena facility. 2014. IG transformations redesign the net. Metal wars begin in Night City as gangs battle for turf. 2015. Rise of cyber mercenaries. Lithuania hires cyber soldiers to repel invasions by Latvian nationals. 2016. Third corporate war is fought in the net as rival corps attack each other's data fortresses. 2017. First self-aware clones created. 2018. Brushfire wars erupt in Eastern Europe. 2019. Orbital colony revolt at L-3. The year 2020. The present day. So there you have it, folks, a future history timeline straight from the Cyberpunk universe. I hope that gives you a better understanding about what type of setting we're really working with, some of the really interesting events that we're probably going to expand on in later videos, and hopefully the game itself is going to expand on eventually. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and definitely stop by our new subreddit. Let me know what you think of the video and what content we should expand on next. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us in the Lore Lounge. Bye for now.